Hey guys, Striders back with another pre-game stats breakdown. So starting off first, we have the red team with Nidalee, Olaf, Hecarim, Graves, and Nunu versus the blue team who has Morgana, Lee Sin, Vayne, Jayce, and Sona. This should be a very interesting match because I don't really see Hecarim or mid-AP very frequently. So let's see what happens. The top lane, we do have an Olaf versus a Jayce, and this is going to be an interesting combo because Olaf is typically very offensive and Jayce can really be offensive or defensive, so I'm not sure, it kind of really just depends. The Olaf player mains top while the Jayce player mains jungle, so that's going to give a little bit of an advantage to Olaf just because he's probably more familiar with the particular matchups of that lane. He's also played Olaf about 40 times with a 41% win ratio, which is pretty low. Jayce has been played by this person about 11 times with a 54% win ratio. So both of them not really all that great and not really a lot of experience on the Jayce player. But I am going to go ahead and give it to the Olaf just because he's familiar with the top lane a little bit more than this Jayce player. So then going into mid lane, we have Nidalee versus Morgana. And they both main caster, which is good. The Nidalee players only played Nidalee 10 times with a 60% win ratio, when Morgana has been played by this person about 43 times with a 51% win ratio, which is not that good for Morgana. She typically has really high win ratios for her utility and her great damage and teamfight presence. The only thing I'm worried about, especially with Morgana, is once Nidalee hits 6, it's going to be really easy for her to dodge the Dark Bindings from Morgana. So if you equal out all of the pros and cons of this matchup, I think Morgana will win earlier, but she's not really going to be able to provide enough pressure to Nidalee early, like pre-level 6, that it's really going to make a difference. So I think Nidalee will come out on top this particular game. So that's going to be 2 for the red team, 0 for the blue. And then if we take a look at the junglers, we have Hecarim versus Lee Sin. Now Hecarim is very unconventional. He does main jungler, and Lee Sin also mains jungler. So it's going to be really close between the two. Lee Sin has been played by this person over 200 times, or over 300 times, sorry, which is really impressive with a 60% win ratio. And that's extremely good. Hecarim has been played by this person over 130 times, over 140 times, almost 150, with a 65.77% win ratio, which is ridiculously good. I don't really see Hecarim that frequently, so seeing him with that high of win ratio makes me really happy. I think Lee Sin is going to be much better earlier for the ganking, especially with his slow. It's going to really help Morgana land those Dark Bindings. It'll also help Jayce get in and get a great hammer smash backwards away from the tower. So I think I'm going to give the jungle to Lee Sin this time, even though I really like Hecarim as a jungler. I just don't think he's going to be as present until he hits level 6. So then if we take a look at the bottom lane, we have Vayne versus Graves. And I think Graves just inherently comes out on top, because Graves is incredibly powerful. He is able to harass a lot more. He has some AoE wave clearing, which as Vayne has no AoE or skill shots like at all, which is very sad, but Vayne gets fed. She can get really good really fast. So if we take a look at them, the Graves player mains caster while the Vayne mains AD carry. This is going to give Vayne a huge advantage because caster and AD carry are two entirely different positions. You play them entirely different. AD carry is kind of there to farm and throw out harass when you feel like it's necessary. When you're like 100% sure you can win the trade, you go out for that harass. But mid lane is kind of more of a push my wave and then go roaming when I can, but trying not to get ganked because it's really easy to get ganked in mid lane. So I don't know if Graves is really going to do all that great. He's only played 7 games with a 42% win ratio, as to where Vayne has played over 300 times with a 50% win ratio. So I think I'm going to give the AD carry and bot to Vayne, regardless of the fact that Nunu is supporting Graves. Nunu also mains caster, while the Sona mains AD carry. And the benefit of having an AD carry main support you means that they know what they're doing, because they know how supports should act. They may not have it mechanically, like as far as the champions are concerned. They may have to familiarize themselves with the spells and everything, but they're going to be really, really good at knowing when to engage and when to disengage and things like that. So overall, I think blue team is going to win the bottom lane, but the red team will win the top, middle, and jungle. So overall, if you combine all of the stats together, the red team will have a 61.43% chance of winning, as far as the blue team will have a 55.09% chance of winning. And I'm actually going to go with the numbers this time and say that the red team will win. So let's go ahead and get into the game and see what happens. Hey everybody, Strider's back with another daily high ELO casting, and I am in the middle of the TSM tourney finals, so that's kind of disappointing, but I really wanted to get DJ LAMBO playing Hecarim. Hecarim is a very, very hard champion to actually find in a game, especially at this ELO. Especially when he's not like AP Hecarim, because I've seen a couple people play AP Hecarim, which is actually pretty amusing, but that's besides the point. I'm also interested to see Scarra play Nidalee. I've never actually seen him play Nidalee, so I don't know if that's a common thing that he's just picking up, or if he's going to go AP Nidalee, or what exactly is going on. So we will find out, I suppose. So for the matchups, we're going to have Morgana versus Nidalee, I'm assuming. Yeah, that's what it looks like. So in this particular matchup, it should be okay. Nidalee, she has some nice mobility, especially when she hits level 6. So I don't know how Morgana is going to deal with roaming. I don't know if she's going to be able to roam, because I think Nidalee is just going to be on her ass the whole time. I really just don't think she's going to be able to. But then when you take a look at the two jungles, we have bobqin, I don't even know. So we have Lee Sin and Hecarim. Lee Sin is a significantly better ganker, that is for sure. But Hecarim does a lot of damage, and he's really good for AoE. So once he hits 6, he's going to be really good too. So I really expect Hecarim to gank bottom lane quite a few times earlier on, or like after he hits 6. So like right around the mid game, I expect Hecarim to go down bottom and just do a really, really nice push, especially with Vayne, since she has a really, really short range on her auto attacks. I'm not sure how well she's going to be able to do against that. She will have the Condemn, she will have the Cleanse to get away from the onslaught of shadows, but not exactly sure how well it will, so we'll see. We'll see what happens in the long run. But yeah, going with Vayne versus Graves, it's an interesting matchup, but I think Vayne typically comes out on top in the long run. Graves can harass much better, because Vayne doesn't have any AoE spells at all. Nidalee and Nunu are coming in. They do see that Lee Sin is going for the red buff first, and that's really, really good for them to know. So they know that they're not going blue, but in the meantime, Olaf is going blue, and he's going really, really low. You can see him hammering away with this passive, getting that extra auto attack and lifesteal from there. So I don't know how Jayce is going to be able to deal with the blue buff to Olaf. Olaf actually going to recall. Very interesting. But great job by Olaf. I'm surprised he didn't just kind of go top. I think Jayce probably throws out a little bit too much harassment. Olaf did ping level 2, and he's actually going to teleport to one of the minions. Wow, wonderful job. So really, really well played. And and there he goes laughing about it. He's like, I have your blue buff. And he did also hit level 2 beforehand. He's probably still a little bit behind as far as gold is concerned, just because that big blue buff golem gives a lot more experience. Ward finally coming out into this bush. Now Graves doing a lot of harass. Knowing that Sona already used her spells, and now Nunu is only going to be able to get one auto attack, and is seen now by everybody on the blue team, so they're going to know when that harass is going to come. The blood boils just kind of be a little bonus for helping to get away, but it doesn't look like he's really going to be able to do too much outside that. Those ice splashes don't do enough damage. I don't even know if it's worth it. The Aura of Perseverance is just going to be too much right now. Just because, I mean, it does give that aura of armor and magic resist. Uh-oh. Jayce and Lee Sin are both here. Uh-oh. So there's a ping coming from both junglers. We may have a 2v2 situation up top, and this will be dangerous. Neither of them see the other junglers. Hecarim's coming in from the bottom bush, and now Jayce going in really hard, but it looks like, yes, they did spot this Lee Sin out the very last second, so they will just end up backing off from this, and Lee Sin will just kind of be wasting his time here in the top rush. So great job by Hecarim to realize that there is another person in that top rush, and just really wasting his time, and that's exactly what they need to do. As far as the mid lane goes, Nidalee is actually keeping up in farm against Morgana, which is pretty surprising because Nidalee, before level 6, still doesn't really have much. She has her heal, which is nice, but it doesn't look like she's really doing it too much. Oh, Lee Sin's going in really hard against Jayce. Jayce does knock him back though, and in the meantime, Graves and Nunu both go down to really low HP. Great job by Sona and Vayne being able to do exactly what they need to do in order to get an advantage, because Vayne is very hard to farm with, but if she can get farmed, that is going to be excellent. So let's go ahead and see what happens top, and this is not going to be good if Olaf is going to get cut out. Yes, Olaf is going really hard, but he doesn't see the police, and here's a great safeguard with the backup, and that is going to be a hammer smash face to Olaf. Very unfortunate, but that's the risk of doing business. Olaf is meant to be a pretty aggressive champion. Jayce is kind of like a hybrid. He can do either. He can go really aggressive and put on a lot of burst, or he can be, really passive. So that's one of the tricky things against going against the Grave. I mean, Olaf's okay at passive, but he really he definitely excels in the offensive spells that he has. As far as bot lane goes, it looks like Vayne is still doing a wonderful job at farming. Graves has 19 CS opposed to Vayne's 37, and now, we may have, great job, and now the Ghost coming out from Hecarim, and now the exhaust from Sona. Great job helping reduce that a little bit of extra movement speed that he's going to be getting. And again, he does get more damage based on his movement speed, so that exhaust was perfectly timed by that Sona. Right when he got in range, he just got exhausted almost immediately. And now Nunu's just kind of, dancing in the lane. No big deal, just dancing it off. Nidalee is going to be relatively powerful here because it's going to be incredibly hard to gank her, since she could just have traps in all corners of the brush, really. So it's going to be really difficult to take her by surprise without you having reduced magic resistance and taking a little bit of damage over time. So she's going to go back. She's probably just going to pick up a couple basic beginner items. Yeah, she does just get the chalice, possibly ward, yeah. In the meantime, Morgana has 2 Doran's rings, so she really wants to keep up with that, with the push that Nidalee can do. The thing about Nidalee is that she doesn't really use mana. When she's in Cougar form, she's not going to use any mana, so this is basically strictly for the traps. Possibly some javelins, but usually javelins don't really come out that frequently unless like a flash is used or if it's in team fights. So we'll just have to find out to see when that's actually going to happen now. Hecarim's just going back to his jungle. He's just still doing a really good job. He has 37 CS as opposed to Lee Sin's 18, so he's doing a really good job. Nidalee's in trouble. She is going to get stunned by Morgana. Morgana's going to get... Oh man, that safeguard coming out from Lee Sin, and then the extra help with a little bit of kick and action coming out from Lee Sin, just easily being able to pick up the kill in the Nidalee. I don't think Nidalee should have stayed there and let her get that second part of her stun off. I just don't think it was needed. I think that might have been definitely a misplay from Nidalee on that part. But now Lee Sin is going to be able to transfer this blue buff onto Morgana. It's going to be the first blue buff for their team, and that's going to be very helpful for her. She's going to be able to withstand this lane even more now, which is impressive. And Hecarim's just kind of farming the middle bit of the lane. It's going to be a ganking tax, even though he didn't gank. But he's doing a wonderful job at farming. Holy cow. 44 CS. He's pretty much staying in... Yeah, he's staying on par with like bottom, mid, and top lane, which is really surprising. Graves going really low. Yes, the Ignite does end up taking down the Sona, and now it's just going to be really bad news if Vayne continues to start this fight. It looks like Graves is a little bit too worried to really do much about it. I don't know if Vayne, no, she does not have her flash, she does not have her cleanse. man, both the people on the bottom lane, both the Graves and the Nunu were extremely low, so she could have got a double kill there. It's just there was no targeted focus, and it looks like Sona just got a little bit too overzealous and trying to zone out the Graves. She ended up getting herself killed, which is definitely not what you want to do. It's just what happens every once in a while. So blue team right now has basically the entire bottom river wooded up, and that's really useful for them because they're going to be able to find out who is coming out of the red, or the bottom part of the red jungle at all times, and that's extremely needed. It's just going to provide them so much dragon pressure, as well as if somebody's going to come out for a gank or something, it's going to be really difficult for them to be able to know who is and when it's going to happen. But with those wards, it's going to make it much easier. Now, Hecarim may be coming for a gank here. He is not spotted out. There's no ward there. Morgana goes in, and yes, it looks like he will. No, he gets dark binded. Very, oh my gosh. And yes, that is just going to be a nice little safeguard. And it doesn't look like, yes, Lee Sin kicks him into the Morgana, giving him the assist. Oh man, that was just not good times. Lee Sin kicked the Hecarim into the wrong position, wrong area, and Morgana got killed for it. So that's not going to be good for her, but she's still ahead by about 10 creep kills. Lee Sin just picking up the kills whenever he can. He's just roaming the lanes, doing the safeguard, and picking up the kills. So he's gotten 2 already. He was able to give the first one to Jayce, which is really important. Kind of set him the tone for winning his lane. Right now Jayce has 72 CS versus Olaf 65, so he's doing actually pretty good. Ow, wow. Okay, so the Shock Blast is doing a lot of damage. He's able to basically take down an entire creep wave. I wonder if he's actually leveling that first. Yeah, it does look like he's kind of leveling that first in tandem with the acceleration gate. Now red team is kind of trying to keep the blue team off of their tower because, yeah, it looks like Vayne was being really aggressive there for a while at the beginning, but now it doesn't really look like that's what's happening anymore. Since Graves has a little bit more levels into his buckshot, he's going to be able to clear out those waves a lot easier, and now Lee Sin is pinging down for Dragon, and I don't know if they're going to be able to do that, but now red team is pinging off to try to get the kill on Jayce, so they're going to trade Dragon for Jayce, and I don't know if it's going to be worth it. I don't even know if they can keep up with that. Jayce is coming in, and yes, he knocks him into the tower. Great job by Hecarim, and oh my gosh, a great flash with the acceleration gate. And the Shock Blast with the Ignite. I don't think it's going to be enough damage, but it was a really good try. And Olaf is going to push as much as possible. The Dragon Kick onto, oh my gosh, onto the Nunu. Took him down solo, under 100 HP. Didn't quite kill him. A little bit miscalculated by the Lee Sin, but when you're under 100 HP at that time, it's almost always luck at that point in time. It's not really, it's hard to calculate for 100 HP here and there. So Hecarim's going in, he may be going in really, really deep. Yes, a great spear by Nidalee, being able to pick up that kill, and Hecarim just went directly onto Lee Sin to help prevent any form of safeguard or dragon kick or anything that could possibly happen. A wonderful job by Hecarim, knowing that, or basically believing in Nidalee's abilities to pick up that kill without his help. And that's exactly what was needed. So let's go ahead and see if we can get to live, because it's been a while since I actually went to live. And again, Graves is actually doing a really good job. He's coming back really hard now. He's still 10 CS behind, but he is coming back, and that's what matters. He does have more items than Vayne. Vayne has not been back in a while, so let's go ahead and see. Vayne actually, yeah, Vayne has 16. She could just go back and get a BF sword now, which would be incredibly terrifying. I don't know if that's what she's planning on doing, but it's very, very possible. And now the ultimate coming out, and now she is going to get hit down by the Hecarim. But Hecarim's, oh my gosh, that spear just chunked her down for almost half her health. Wonderful play, and another spear. No, it's not going to be enough. Nice try by Nidalee, being able to try to pick up those kills with the little tips of those spears being as deadly as they are. Oh, Lee Sin is going to throw a ward over there. He's going to get the Sonic Wave, and he's going right into 3 members. The great crescendo coming out. Is the Onslaught of Shadows going to come out from this Hecarim? Yes, the Onslaught of Shadows coming out. They're going to be able to instantly get this. Oh my god, but then Nunu goes down, and with the collateral damage, are they going to be able to pick up? Yes, they will be able to pick up that Lee Sin, and a spear smashing Vayne in the face for so much damage. She's barely going to be able to get out with a tumble on top of everything else. So a tumble and a flash was able to get out of that, and that was terrifying. Super close, but man, these Nidalee spears are already hurting a whole lot. I'm really worried about them on this particulars. Yeah, it's Nidalee's just been able to pick up so many little tanks on that spear. It's gonna be really scary, especially late game if they don't get any magic resist or anything, which I'm assuming they, of course they will, but I don't know what Nidalee's gonna do to counter that. Graves, in the meantime, is going to be taking this bottom tower, the bottom outer tower for the blue team, and yes, that is going to be the first tower of the game. Vayne doesn't quite get there in time since she was sent back so long ago with that Sona as well. So wonderful job by the red team, really kind of picking up the pace, getting the hang of it, and they were able to pick up a 2k gold lead. So now it's kind of just the blue team playing catch up, or trying to catch somebody out of position, but I don't know how well that is going to happen. And wow, it looks like these spears are still just chunking people down. And yeah, oh no, that spear, even with the spell shield, she's gonna have to put another level or two into that spell shield if she really wants to survive any more of these spell shields. Lee Sin is in this bush. She could very well go for a gank, but it doesn't look like that's going to be able to happen. He is able to throw down his ultimate. Great job. And now, Jayce is coming in, throws his hammer. But Hecarim is now in the mix. He's going to be able to do a lot of damage. He's just sticking on top of the Jayce. Jayce is going to throw out his ultimate. And now Lee Sin is going to have to flash out of there. And Jayce tried to go in, pick up the kill, but it does not go through. Olaf is going to be able to finish that up pretty easily. Wonderful job by the blue team, being able to just pick up all the kills that they need. And now, I'm a little bit worried. Yes, they still do have a ward there, and so it will be dangerous for them to really provide any presence in that bottom lane area where that ward is. They are still going for this red buff, which I think is a very risky move, but luckily for them, Lee Sin is just not quite there. Now Lee Sin is getting really hardly towered over by. Oh my gosh, the spear just barely missed, but Hecarim isn't going to be able to. Yes, he does barely get out of there. The heal from Nidalee is also going to help significantly with him being able to get out safe and sound. And now red team is just in their jungle, both sides at the same time. It doesn't look like blue team really has any way. Great job by Vayne being able to get that condemned. And now, looks like Nunu will go down, but he does get quite a bit of damage from his absolute zero. The collateral damage is going to be able to pick up that Morgana, but it's actually going to be Nidalee's spear that finishes it off. And now, oh my gosh, Jayce is able to pick up that double kill, takes the spear to the face, but it's not going to do that much damage. And he's going to be able to get away successfully. Wonderful job by the blue team, really being able to pick it up. They're still quite a bit behind. They have a lot to make up, but that was definitely a step in the right direction for them. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do in the future, if they're going to continue to be able to do that. Lee Sin throws out a pretty good Sonic Wave, though. It doesn't follow up on it. It's probably a good idea, just kind of throwing out the damages, but with Olaf going top, it does look like Lee Sin may be going for this dragon. No, they're just pinging off, because I think he thought that the blue team is going there. He is getting pinged out right here. They do see them with this red ward, and he is behind. He can safeguard to that ward at any time, but does he have another ward to put over? No, he doesn't. I don't know if he's going to be able to survive this if any of the red team comes in. It looks like they may be trying to converge on them. Does have a smite. The dragon is getting pretty low, but it looks like they may back off a little bit. Hecarim's coming in, and the spear doing so much damage to the Lee Sin. Lee Sin finishes it up with a resonating strike, but in the mix of the resonating strike, he ends up face tanking that spear from Nidalee, taking him down solo. And then right when he tried to flash over, Hecarim just charges him into the wall. So that devastating charge was, in fact, devastating. And Morgana's going to be able to get... Oh no, she's actually not going to throw that. Never mind. I thought she was going to throw a Dark Binding on him right in tower range, because right when you walk around this little curve area, you get like a blink of tower aggro. So if you're not fast enough, you'll end up taking tower shots. So if she would have snared him right here, he possibly could have taken a tower shot or two. It's something that, is obviously free damage. Take free damage if you can, but it's also possible she used her Dark Binding to farm the wraiths. I didn't quite see that part. Vayne's doing a really good job of tumbling away from those buckshots. I'm pretty surprised at it. Oh my gosh, collateral damage coming out really hard with the Condemn, and Vayne's coming up really, really hard. She's gonna try to go after this, but no, that Ice Blast is just too strong, slowing down her attack speed by so much. Even with that ultimate up, it's just not gonna be enough, and that and the heal from Nidalee is just way too strong right now, and that's going to be the inner bottom tower going down for the blue team. Now the red team has 3 towers total, and they still have no dragon control. Oh, and with that, the acceleration gate coming up. Nunu throws down the absolute zero, just hoping that he was going to come in, but it did not happen. It was a nice try. It's the thought that counts. Oh, is Hecarim going to have to get out of here? Is he going to get stunned? Yes, he barely gets stunned, but he's not stunned for long. Those Merc Treads are proving to be very, very worth it, because if Morgana got a little bit better positioning, she could have landed the Dark Binding right after that. But those Merc Treads are just too strong right now, giving him that tenacity to get out of bad situations. The blue team is really starting to group up now. They're grouping up in like clumps of 3 or 4. Being able to take that blue buff for Morgana is definitely going to help them in the fight. Her ultimate is down now, but only has 70 seconds. So they're going to try to just kind of keep the red team away from them until her ultimate is back up. Her ultimate is basically the key to success, and it looks like Hecarim is going to get caught out of here again. The Hammer Smash coming out. Is he going to be able to get out of the way? He still does have his Ghost, as well as the Onslaught of Shadows. He is going to use his Onslaught of Shadows. He's going to try to save his Ghost, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. That acceleration gate's going to be pretty close to coming back up. Yes, that is going to be a little bit too much. He does. Oh my gosh, a Rising Strike almost hits him, but not quite. Hecarim barely gets out of there. And oh, Jayce is out for vengeance. And yes, that blast, the Shock Blast ends up hitting a minion instead of going right past him. So great job by Hecarim, but he's chased completely out of his base, and that's definitely not what they wanted it to do. But they had 2 members of the blue team chasing, and their red team really didn't make anything of it. They didn't take any extra towers, they didn't really apply any pressure anywhere. They just kind of let it happen, which I think was, a slight misplay. They could have taken advantage of it, they just, didn't, or there wasn't any advantages that they could have taken care of. There was no dragon. Oh, Nunu getting caught out, kind of blindsided by this Lee Sin. He gets, uh-oh, now the Graves is coming in. He's out for vengeance. And the acceleration gate with the Shock Blast coming out, but it does miss. And now the Hammer smashing Graves into a really bad situation. It looks like Graves might just throw it down. No! The Sonic Wave hitting onto the Nunu instead of the Graves. That could have been devastating. Nidalee comes out from behind, is able to throw on a heal, and then starts kind of chasing off everybody else. And a spear taking her down to about half health. Oh my gosh. Super scary. Lee Sin taking just a little bit of damage. He actually stops the recall. He probably could have made it, but just wasn't enough. And Jayce is coming in. He's going to Hammer Smash somebody back, but now he gets exhausted for it. And a great Dragon Kick knocking up the Graves, doing a lot of damage. And uh-oh, that collateral damage is definitely going to pick it up. Great shot by Graves. Kind of gave him hope that he was going to be able to get away, but just kind of dashed his hopes and dreams with that very last collateral damage. That's the worst when you're like, yes, I finally got away. I can't believe I got away. And then you can just get hit in the face by a spell. And oh, I don't know. Oh yeah, she does end up going down. Vayne taking a ton of damage from a great tower shot. She does cleanse out, but she's still going to get chased down. The mobility of this team is just so fast. The Blood Boil from Nunu and the heal from Nidalee is just really helping out with the speed. And Lee Sin face checking a spear again with that Sonic Wave, and he's just going to get repetitively slowed and taken down by the entirety of the red team. So great job by them. Hecarim's just doing as much damage as he can, and wow, taking half her HP from one spear. Nidalee's getting really scary still. She's landing those spears in really bad situations for the blue team. The blue team is down by about 10,000 gold now. If we take a look at the gold, that is actually going to be the first inhibitor of the game, and it's going to go for the red team. Don't know if they're going to back off and wait for a wave or two to try and get a Baron or not, but we shall see. But if we take a look at the gold here, it looks like the #1 gold earner of the game so far is going to be the Nidalee. Nidalee is doing pretty good. Actually, everybody on the red team is really close except for the Nunu, but It's pretty surprising that they're all this close. They're all within like 3 or 400 all. Oh no, now Vayne is getting caught out. But Olaf is going to have to back off because he can't take on 3 members of the blue team right now, no matter how godlike everyone thinks he is. But the #1 gold earner on the blue team is going to be Jayce, followed by Morgana. Vayne is getting completely shut down. Vayne has about the same amount of gold as Nunu. She's doing okay in farming. She's only down by like 20 CS. You know, it's still a lot, but Graves has just gotten, you know, 4 more kills and 2 more assists. And now they just got a dragon, so that's going to be just an even bigger advantage. Oh, now Vayne is all by herself. She is going to try to get away from here. She does flash after the tumble, and a great spear smashing on her, taking her down less than half health, and she tries to juke out the whole team, but not gonna work. Very, very, very nice try from Vayne. That would have been awesome if it actually worked. Oh no, I missed. What happened? That was awesome though. Okay, so Lee Sin goes in here, gets cut off by a Nidalee trap. Now Hecarim's going in, doing a ton of damage. The onslaught of shadows kind of fearing him away. And wow, just following up with so much damage. And Hecarim's actually doing pretty good. He has 30 AP right now, and he does scale really well off AP as well as that movement speed. And that's 2 things that he will be cut, or he will get from that Trinity Force. And now Spear hitting Morgana in the face, definitely not the person they want. But now Graves and Nunu both get cut out into that crescendo in the middle of the tower, and they are going to be able to take that out. Hecarim taking the top tower in the meantime, and yes, another tower going out for the bottom, and the collateral damage not quite finishing off. Oh, and Jayce face tanks the spear with an axe, and now I don't know if Vayne's going to be able to do anything about this. The shockwave, oh my gosh, 1 more spear right to the face is able to take him out, and oh, 1 more spear, wow, going so low for the Lee Sin, and now, yes, Morgana does end up taking out the Graves. The ignite from Graves ends up taking out the Lee Sin. Great job by them. And now Lee Sin has just been, Nidalee has just been spamming out her spears, and a great tumble by Vayne, being able to avoid it. But the heroic charge is just going to come out, or devastating charge. I'm thinking Poppy. I don't know what happened. The devastating charge coming out from Hecarim is just going to be really, really good. He gets that movement speed. He's not going to be able to follow up on it. Goes pretty low. Oh my gosh, that spear would have easily picked that up. They are going to back off. It looks like Hecarim's a little bit too low, and a spear just chunking her down. And 1 more auto attack. He's at 26 health. So close. They are going to have to back off from this fight, though. They're messing around a little bit too much, and that's going to force them back off of the fight. So let's go ahead and see if we can get back to live here. If blue team is going to make a comeback, they're going to have to make it at this Baron fight, because I know it's going to happen. Everyone knows it's going to happen. We just need to know how good they're going to do on it. Morgana doesn't have that much mana, so I'm a little bit worried. Her ultimate is down for another 20 seconds, and she's still using her mana to farm up wolves. I don't know if this is the best idea, but it doesn't look like red team's really going for the Baron, which is kind of interesting. But Lee Sin does throw down that ward, and the teleport now coming out. Don't know who got hit, but it looks like it hurt. Oh, a great crescendo dodge from the Graves, and another hammer smash. Wow. Graves is actually going really low. Jayce doing a lot of damage, but he's just getting a little bit too overconfident, and now the spear with the onslaught of shadows, the help just kind of dodging him into is a great job, and it looks like Nidalee is going to chase up to this. No, Hecarim is going to take it with the devastating charge, and that spear just taking down the Morgana as Morgana takes down the Graves. Very, very bad for the blue team. I think this is probably a game. The only person that's left alive is going to be that Lee Sin, and he is able to safeguard over the wall to get into that Baron pit. But they're not going to be able to do anything about that. It looks like,
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Lee Sin gets hit with the Ice Blast. Is he going to get taken out before the game is over? Yes, he does, and the spear goes down, and the game ends just at that time. Beautifully played by the red team. Absolutely perfect. They did everything that they needed to do. And I learned something new. Nidalee is still really annoying in mid lane. I remember when I first played, or when I first started, like right after beta, everybody used to pick Nidalee mid, and she was so annoying just because, you know, she can heal. Oh man, this is back when Doran's rings were like really good, before they nerfed it like 3 times. But oh man, Nidalee was so good, and she was so annoying. She didn't use mana. I think she was the only champion besides Tryndamere that didn't use mana at the time. I want to say that was, and so she would just sit there and just like jump to you, pounce on you, do a ton of damage, get away, and then if you did any damage to her, she would just heal it up because her heal was on like a 2.0 AP ratio or something ridiculous. But it's glad to see that she's still viable, especially AP Nidalee, because she kind of fell out of favor after dodge was removed and just a bunch of other situations that just didn't make her all that great anymore. They kind of nerfed her into the ground, turned her into a little bit more of a bruiser, but she's still not all that tanky. So I don't really think she's 100% viable in competitive play, but she can still be played pretty well in solo queue, it looks like. So yeah, congratulations to the red team and GG to the blue team. And guys, if you enjoy my videos, make sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button on the middle of your screen, and if you want to see any other videos that I've done, you can click the next or previous buttons at the bottom. And thank you very much. I'll see you guys tomorrow.